Good evening. Hand today is ace queen off. So in this hand, it folds around to Hijack, who open races at 2.6. He's playing pretty tight, 16-9 with 567 hands. From mid position, his raise first in is about 10%. He does get looser, so I think he is a pretty tight player. I would bet that's 16.4%. He's probably tighter than that. So maybe something like that. Nines plus. It's 9.3. That's probably a tight range, assuming he does all of the aces, all of the suited aces. He might not. He might only do these, in which case we could probably add something like that. And then it's on me. We have to recognize that he is a tight player. So, we have to consider what should we raise with, what should we call with. I think all of this calling range is probably too wide. I think our standard, yeah, we can call against typical players, but against this player, I think we're going to have to tighten up a little bit. I think we're going to have to make some 3-bets here. So that 3-bet range is pretty strong. We're probably going to be doing the same, maybe moving like ace queen suited to just a call, since it's a little bit more playable. Ace queen and a call, and that kind of helps strengthen the calling range. Maybe even jacks make that a call, and then eliminate 4s, 5s, and 6s as well. But we're going to keep with that calling range. Do we have to worry about it, raising to isolate? No, I don't think so. None of these players look overly loose, at least with calling of their 2-bets. This guy's 22%, and if he, as long as he folds, we get position. Both of these players look a little bit loose. I've got 29 hands on him. He's playing 43%, but so far calling 2-bets is only 25%. 2 out of 8. So I did call, and then villain 4 called. Pre-flop from the button. This is the first time or second time that he's called a bet. He's probably speculative hands as well. He doesn't do a whole lot of raising, but out of 27 hands, I think we could probably assume he's probably doing something reasonable. Maybe all of these aces. We'll get rid. That's 34.5. We'll leave jacks in there. I think those are probably 3-bet range, so we're at 32%. I think that's probably a wide enough range, and then both other players fold. So we go to a flop. I've got 5.28% and 70 combos. Flop comes out with 10 of spades, 6 of spades, and 3 of diamonds. So overall, that does not really hit his range at all. Could hit both of ours. And he checks. Now he c-bets out of position 55%. C-bets in position 55%. So I do think he's aware of some positional play. I think right now we have to consider that it probably doesn't make sense for him to bet some big hands. If you bet sets, if you bet 2-pair, if you bet over pair, really who's going to call you? Spade draw is going to call you, baby 10's going to call you, but this is just such a dry board that I think he's going to get a lot of folds, whereas if he just comes in with the check, with the overpair, and maybe with some top pair, although top pair is a little bit risky, because you can give a jack, queen, king that could beat you. I think overall he's going to be betting about half the time. I think flush draws you can probably check raise with some of these flush draws as well. So what does he do? Oh, he did check. Yeah, I forgot. So he did check. So let's say he aces and kings are in his checking range. Let's assume sets are in his checking range. Top pair, only ace 10s in his checking range. Pocket pair less than the top card, 7, 8, 9. I think he could probably c-bet that and c-bet the bottom pair. Flush draws, I think we'll say he would check all of the nut flush draws with the plan to check raise them. I think he would check these, probably the bottom pair. And no made hands. Flush draw with the pair, yeah, that is check raise. Okay, so we got a lot. We got 70% here that he's checking, and maybe it's just because it's the board. So it's on me. What do I do? I think we have to think about if we bet and we get called, what cards are good, what cards are bad. I think any over cards could be kind of a scare card for us if we bet. We're not going to like it if we get raised by that. I think spade's going to be bad, could potentially be bad for us. So I think, and both guys are short, so I do think we have to be concerned that we could get all in. I think we bet a set and hope that someone raises, and likewise then I think we bet these probably the ace jack flush draw, and be willing to get all in. So it's like one combo of the ace jack. What do I do? I did check, so let's say we're going to check our top pair. And eliminate ace jack. Okay, so that's our checking range, and then this player also checks. Now he had the opportunity to bet, so once he didn't, I'm going to take out his sets, his overpair, his top pair. I think he would be betting. He might even be betting pocket pair below the top card, and his middle pair. We'll include all of those. I think he'll bet his flush draws probably, and his open and straight draws as well. So we'll say that's his checking range. So now we go to a turn. So mine was narrowed down 90.3%. I had 56 combos here. And for a turn card of a 3 of hearts. I don't think that changes anything. That would have actually been a pretty good card if had we bet that we could actually bet again and not worry so much. So villain 3 checks again. Now, I think full house still checks. I mean, he was going to call. He might bet small, hope to get paid, but I think he already checked now. He's not afraid of hand getting called out on. He's probably hoping that someone's going to bet so he could just check raise all in. So I think full house, 3 of a kind. I still think the overpair is going to check. Top pair now I think is going to bet. But I think check flush draw is probably just going to go ahead and check raise. So I think we're doing something like this. So that right there is 84.3% of his hand. You can see that we're about even now. So now it's on me. We've already just checked. Is there a reason for us to bet now? And I honestly don't think so. I think we're going to be checking 100% of our range here, and waiting to see what villain 4 does. Villain 4 checks, and I think even with villain 4, what's the incentive? I think 3 of a kind should be betting. Try to get some value. Why give up equity? And that's kind of like, you could say the same thing with me, but I don't really have any of those. I've got top pair, I've got those. I don't think it's justified to go ahead and bet, and then get raised and be forced into a huge decision. So I think that probably is checking range, even including some of these flush draws and gut shots. So I think that's his checking range. I've got 100% of the range here. So that's my turn range, 100%. I still have 56 combos, and we go to the river, which is the king of spades. Again, with how it plays out, I don't think you can be too worried about. King of spades is out, which means ace king's not there. None of the king suited spades, are out. So that kind of leaves the ace x suited, and surely someone would have bet. So villain 3 checks. He could have anything. You're looking at 51% equity. He checks. I do think a full house should be betting now, and I do think he would be betting. 3 of a kind over pairs going to check, and all of those are going to check. So I think that's his checking range, which is at 41%. Really, when you think about it, what can we do with a flush? We're going to be ahead, so I think we bet with a flush. I think we can bet with top pair, with a king. I don't think we're going to be getting much with the middle pair. So we do check. So we're going to say we've got middle pair or weaker. Now it comes down to this player. I think he should be betting flush draws or anything. So if he checks, he's dealing with something like that. Weak pair, ace high or nothing. And we get to see the board. So he shows ace queen. Does he have ace queen on there? Yep, he has ace queen off. We show ace queen, and villain shows ace 5 off. So we all had ranges, all had weak ranges. This player really wasn't showing any sort of strength. I think a bet by us is gonna pick up the pot and probably on the flop, but I don't think we really have a hand to bluff with ace queen offsuit. We don't really have any sort of equity if we get called, so I'm okay with how I played this hand. It is passive. We managed to win it, but most importantly, we didn't make any what I consider bad plays or plays that would be questionable based on our hand relative to the ranges that we just worked through. All right, so if you like this, look for another hand tomorrow.